Our world is full of wonders and mysteries, some of which are so astonishing that they'll leave you breathless with awe. These mysteries are hidden from public view, defy all logic and explanation, yet have been captured on camera by archaeologists who were either in the right place at the right time or purposefully sought them out. You're watching TopFacts BLACK. Get ready to witness the unbelievable, the terrifying, and the mesmerizing. But before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and of course, let's get started. If you think that attachment to dogs is a recent phenomenon, you might be mistaken. In the north, near the Arctic Circle in Siberia, archaeologists made an interesting discovery: a dog cemetery with fossils dating back 2,000 years. What's surprising is that these 5 dogs were carefully buried, leading experts to suggest that they weren't just working animals in the ancient Arctic village, they were considered pets. The fact that these dogs were intentionally buried hints that even back then dogs, perhaps these very dogs, were truly regarded as man's best friend. This implies that the people in this area had a special bond with their 4-legged companions and cared for them not just as working animals, but also as friends. A creature captured in Ohio in 2022, a video showing a creature crossing a road with long legs and a tail, is a mysterious and controversial phenomenon that has sparked many debates and speculations. The video was uploaded to the internet by a user named Than Ungo, who claimed to have filmed it one evening in Ohio. The video shows a dark and slender creature with 4 long legs and a tail walking across the road in front of his car. The creature looks like a cross between a deer and a dog, but with a very thin and elongated body. The video has been viewed millions of times, prompting a variety of reactions from viewers. Some believe the creature is an alien, a mutant, or a cryptid, while others think it is a hoax, a puppet, or computer graphics. Centuries ago, the idea of driving a stake into the heart was not considered enough, leading to a more extreme solution: to finally end a vampire's fate by placing a brick in its mouth. By pouring cement over the vampire's face, this would effectively prevent it from continuing its bloody deeds. Discovered in 2006 by archaeologists in a mass grave near Venice, a skull attests to such grim practices. During the construction of a railway in Dorset, workers stumbled upon a mysterious find: a group of decapitated Vikings buried in the ground. Initially, archaeologists assumed that these burials could have been the result of villagers' revenge after an attack. However, upon closer examination, the picture grew more complex. The decapitations seemed unusually precise, and the angle suggested they were executed from the front, not from behind, as was typical. This enigmatic discovery has left researchers perplexed, and there is still no clear answer as to what actually happened. You won't believe what archaeologists discovered beneath the Roman Byzantine baths in Israel: a horrifying mass grave of infant bones. This shocking find reveals the dark and bloody secrets of the ancient world, where infanticide was a common and accepted practice. The discovery was made in 1988 by archaeologist Ross Voss, who was exploring one of the sewage drains in Ashkelon, a seaport on Israel's Mediterranean coast. He was stunned to discover the remains of almost 100 infants, all of whom had died shortly after birth. There were no signs of disease or deformity, indicating that they were deliberately killed. The bones date back to the late Roman or early Byzantine period, between the 4th and 7th centuries AD. The sewer where the bones were found was located directly beneath the former baths, which may have served as a place of prostitution or labor. Perhaps the infants were the unwanted offspring of the women working there. The discovery of the Dragon Man's skull is truly astounding and suggests it may belong to a previously unknown human species. Discovered in Harbin, China in 1933, but recognized by scientists only in 2018, this skull earned its nickname due to its location near the Black Dragon River and its distinctive, powerful features. Dating to approximately 146,000 years ago, during the Middle Pleistocene epoch, the Dragon Man skull was classified as a new species, Homo longi, meaning dragon man. Scientists suggest that this is our closest known evolutionary relative among ancient humans, including Neanderthals and Homo erectus. Although the dragon man's brain size is similar to that of modern humans, he has a more primitive and muscular facial structure. Notable features include large eye sockets, thick brow ridges, a broad mouth, and massive teeth. Researchers believe that Dragon Man was a robust and rugged individual who thrived in a cold and challenging environment. Likely a herbivorous creature, he probably fed on plants and fruits. There are speculations that the Dragon Man may have been a leader or ruler in his community, given the grandeur of his burial site, a spacious hall that might have served for ceremonies and gatherings. In the vast lands of Patagonia, a recent extraordinary discovery has been made. A stunning dinosaur with an exceptionally long neck. This discovery was a breakthrough, providing valuable information on the evolution and diversity of sauropods, the largest land animals to have ever roamed our planet. Sauropods are known for their towering necks, enabling them to reach high vegetation and graze effectively. But here's the twist. Not all sauropods were giants. Some had various body shapes and adaptations. The dinosaur in question, named Bagualia alba, measures 10 meters in length and weighs around 10 tons, the equivalent of 2 African elephants. Discovered by a team of dedicated scientists led by Diego Pol from the Museum of Natural Sciences in Buenos Aires, Bagualia alba existed about 180 million years ago during the early Jurassic period. Imagine stumbling upon a perfectly preserved claw of a giant bird that disappeared from the Earth many centuries ago. That's exactly what happened to a group of archaeologists in 1986 when they explored a cave system on Mount Owen in New Zealand. At first you might think it's a dinosaur claw, but surprise! It's a mummified claw of a moa, a flightless bird native to New Zealand that went extinct about 600 years ago. The most astonishing part? This claw was so well preserved that it looked as though it belonged to a living bird, not a fossil. It had skin, muscles, and even entire claws still attached to part of the leg. The claw, about 20 centimeters long, belonged to a moa species called Megalapteryx didinus, which could reach up to 8 feet tall and weigh up to 550 pounds. This wasn't just a claw, it was an incredible discovery and a milestone in archaeology. Could it be that these creatures still exist, evading human pursuit? It was a sunny day in Zimbabwe's national park when a group of tourists witnessed a scene they would never forget. A young impala was running as fast as it could, escaping from a pack of hungry wild dogs who wanted to make it their meal. The impala had no chance of outrunning the dogs, so it made a desperate attempt and jumped into the nearest pond. But the pond was not a safe refuge, as it was full of thick mud that trapped the impala, preventing it from moving. The wild dogs followed the impala into the pond, but they were cautious of the water and the crocodiles that might be lurking beneath. They circled around the impala, waiting for a chance to attack, but they weren't the only ones interested in the prey. A group of people, observing the drama from a distance, decided to intervene and save the impala from certain death. One of them, a brave man named John, jumped into the mud and swam to the impala. He tied a rope around his waist and the impala's body, and his friends pulled them both onto dry land. The impala was exhausted and terrified, but alive and unharmed. John gently stroked the impala's head to calm it before releasing it back into the wild. The impala ran off, grateful for a second chance at life. Meanwhile, the wild dogs seemed disappointed and frustrated, but they had to accept defeat and search for other prey. In the eastern Indian state of Odisha, on the 1st of October 2021, a touching incident occurred. A young elephant, separated from its herd, wandered into a village and attracted the attention of the local residents. In trying to chase the elephant away, the villagers accidentally frightened it, causing the poor creature to plunge into a pit dug for a water project. The 5-meter deep pit, filled with mud and water, became a trap from which the elephant couldn't escape, and it began to cry for help. Receiving distress calls from the villagers, forest officials rushed to the scene with an excavator. Their attempts to create a path for the elephant were foiled by the slippery mud, and the elephant kept sliding back. Even the excavator's bucket proved ineffective as the elephant resisted and pushed it away. The rescue operation went on for over 3 hours, leaving the exhausted and dehydrated elephant calf in a critical state. Fortunately, a breakthrough came when the officials managed to create a slope for the elephant to climb. To ensure the calf's safety, firecrackers were used to scare away any nearby elephants. With a collective sigh of relief, the young elephant climbed out of the pit and bolted back into the forest where its herd was waiting. Officials and villagers erupted in cheers and applause as they witnessed this joyous reunion. Imagine the awkwardness of being caught in a private moment. Now imagine what two turtles must have felt, fossilized in the act of their special time together. These ancient lovers, dating back 47 million years, were discovered by German scientists at the famous Messel Pit fossil site. These fossils are unique as they're the first ever vertebrates found in the act of dying while mating. Scientists believe the turtles met their tragic end due to carbon dioxide poisoning as they descended deeper into the lake and encountered the lethal gas. The fossils provide an incredible snapshot of the turtles' love story, showing details such as their skin, scales, and even their colors. It's not every day you come across a fossilized love story, making this find both exceptional and a little awkward for the ancient turtle pair. Step back 1,900 years and you'll uncover the horrifying remnants of Roman crucifixion. Central to the scene is a fossilized skeleton, one of a group of 48 individuals buried in ancient cemeteries in the early 2nd century AD. This particular man, aged 25 to 35 at the time of his death, bears witness to the brutal practice through a shocking detail, a nail horizontally piercing his right heel. Dating to approximately 1,900 years ago, this terrifying archaeological discovery unveils a dark chapter of history. The 10-centimeter-long nail, with a square head, serves as a vivid reminder of the Romans' brutal crucifixion methods. Adding to the grim narrative, 12 additional nails around the skeleton hint at a sinister scene. Perhaps the man was secured to a wooden board or stretcher before burial. What if you were told that the oldest turtle on Earth did not have a shell, only a half shell, and that it had teeth instead of a beak, and that it lived in the sea, not on land? You might think we're making it up, but we're not. This is the true story of a sensational discovery that changed everything we knew about turtle evolution. The discovery was made in 2008 in China by a team of paleontologists who found the fossilized skeleton of a 220-million-year-old turtle dating back to the Triassic period. The fossil, named Odontochelys semitestacea, meaning toothed half-shelled turtle, was the oldest and most primitive turtle ever found. It had a fully formed lower shell, or plastron, but lacked a fully developed upper shell. Instead, it had broad ribs that were slightly expanded but not fused. It also had teeth, unlike modern turtles, which have beaks. This was truly a remarkable discovery and a milestone in paleontology. Imagine diving into an underwater cave in Varadero, Cuba, searching for life and suddenly stumbling upon the remains of massive skulls and bones belonging to extinct animals from ancient times. What could have led these creatures to their deaths in such a hidden, watery grave? But wait, the surprises don't end there. Los Angeles, California, a city brimming with modern life, hides secrets under its surface, fossilized remains of numerous extinct animals. Who would have thought that under the concrete and skyscrapers lie hundreds of thousands of fossils waiting to be discovered? The ground we walk on is indeed a treasure trove of mysteries. Just ask the team of archaeologists who uncovered an incredibly well-preserved mammoth tusk in the Middle East. The tusk, a full 8 feet in length and estimated to be around 500,000 years old, belonged to a colossal mammoth weighing 33,000 pounds. Can you imagine coming face to face with such a mammoth in its prime? And if that isn't enough to impress you, Russian researchers near the Arctic stumbled upon a woolly mammoth skeleton, preserved not fully fossilized but with soft tissue. How could such delicate remains survive for over 10,000 years? It's like finding a time capsule from the ancient past. The scientific value of these discoveries is immeasurable. Incredibly, but it's true, a stunning discovery has been made deep beneath the surface, shaking the paleontological world. Fossilized sperm, an astonishing 50 million years old, is the oldest of its kind. This ancient genetic material belonged to a type of annelid Antarctic worm, a relative of modern earthworms and leeches, now extinct. What's interesting is that this ancient sperm didn't just lie somewhere. It was found in a cocoon. This cocoon settled at the bottom of a lake and became covered in sediment, creating a time capsule of reproductive history. Scientists believe that these worms sought to fulfill their purpose, engaging in the ancient equivalent of the dirty work. The significance of this discovery is enormous, as finding fossilized sperm is extremely rare regardless of its age. This discovery offers a window into the intimate lives of long-gone creatures, frozen in time beneath Antarctica's icy surface for an astonishing 50 million years. Who would have thought that such a tiny cell as a sperm could hold such an ancient and amazing story? There was once a time when massive fish would snatch winged reptiles right out of the sky. This is exactly what happened with the coelacanth, an ancient fish that met its end by grabbing a pterosaur. This fossilized remnant was found in Morocco, North Africa, where a team from the University of Portsmouth stumbled upon this extraordinary find. Frozen in a block of phosphate, which is used in fertilizers, the coelacanth found itself in a tricky situation. It seems the fish bit off more than it could chew, literally. The pterosaur's wings got stuck in the coelacanth's throat, preventing it from breathing. The coelacanth, estimated to have been between 3.65 to 5.52 meters in length, turned out to be one of the largest specimens of its kind ever discovered. In this prehistoric drama, both predator and prey met their end in the midst of an ancient struggle for survival. In the Negev desert, archaeologists have uncovered something truly remarkable. They have unearthed 8 ostrich eggs over 4,000 years old. It's like finding a treasure from ancient times. These ancient treasures were found near an old campsite next to a hearth where nomadic people lived in ancient times. What makes these eggs so special? Well, for one, these are not ordinary eggs, they're huge. One ostrich egg is equivalent in nutritional value to 25 chicken eggs, and they weren't just used for breakfast. Back then, people treated these eggs like VIPs. They adorned them with elaborate engravings and designs, used them for special ceremonies, and even as water vessels. Although ostriches roamed this area until the 18th century, finding their bones at ancient sites is rare. This suggests that ancient people may have preferred collecting eggs over hunting these large birds. Even more amazing, the eggs were crushed but preserved in remarkably good condition. Scientists believe that their preservation is due to the dry weather and millennia spent under sandy dunes. This discovery is undoubtedly inspiring. However, if you were given one of these, what would you choose? To eat it or preserve it? In southeastern Spain, at the archaeological site of La Almoloya, an extraordinary discovery revealed the remains of an outstanding woman and man buried approximately 3,700 years ago. The woman, adorned with a silver diadem, a royal headpiece, and other exquisite jewelry, stands out as a symbol of royalty. Beside her lies a warrior, evidently a battle participant, as shown by the scars on his face. This powerful pair paints a vivid picture of the past. The researchers behind this discovery suggest that the woman held a significant role as a ruler over the surrounding lands. Their hypothesis goes further, proposing that she may have been a political figure with influence and importance in her own right. The silver diadem and the fine jewelry the woman wore hint at a status worthy of a leader, while the scars on the warrior's face tell stories of a life filled with battles. Imagine finding a tooth bigger than your hand that belonged to a shark larger than a bus. This incredible discovery was made by Michael Nastasio, a diver with 22 years of experience off the coast of Venice, Florida. He found a giant megalodon tooth measuring 15 centimeters in length. Now let's talk about the megalodon. This prehistoric shark, a true sea giant, roamed the oceans millions of years ago and was one of the largest and most powerful predators in history. Scientists believe it could grow to an astonishing 66 feet in length, with a bite force reaching an astounding 40,000 pounds per square inch. When Michael spotted this enormous tooth among the sand and shells, he was so shocked he was speechless. He described it as a once-in-a-lifetime find, and guess what? He even gave the tooth a cool name, Black Gold. Michael plans to keep this unusual find in his personal collection and hopes that his story will ignite interest in the incredible history of the megalodon and other ancient creatures. Imagine stumbling upon something like this. What would you do? 68 million years ago in Madagascar, you would have encountered a creature far more terrifying than anything in the modern wild. Meet Beelzebufo, a frog whose name means devil frog in Latin, thanks to its large size, aggressive nature, and horned appearance. This frog, standing around 40 centimeters tall and weighing around 5 kilograms, was no ordinary frog. It was the largest frog to ever live on Earth. Beelzebufo ampinga, the ancient frog in question, had a bite so powerful that it could make small dinosaurs its prey. With massive, powerful jaws far exceeding those of modern amphibians, these frogs were true ancient predators. The fossil of Beelzebufo was discovered in Madagascar, a large island off the coast of Africa, by a team of scientists led by David W. Krause of Stony Brook University in New York, but it took 14 years to gather enough data to publish. What truly makes these frogs amazing is their bite strength, comparable to that of modern wolves and tigers. In the world of ancient amphibians, Beelzebufo ampinga stands out as one of the fiercest, earning its devilish name thanks to its ability to devour creatures far larger than the typical frog snack. That's all for today's episode. As usual, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to TopFacts BLACK. Your like and subscription are very important to us. And right now, we invite you to watch our previous top episodes that have appeared on your screens.